Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We heard you. How much does it cost to DIY a planter? So today we're going to give a cost breakdown of the metal raised bed planter that we DIY'd with file cabinets. And if you're new here, hi, I'm Akilah with DIY Power Couple. So if you're a beginner DIYer or just someone who wants to try the trend, keep watching. Make sure you stay to the end to see the detailed budget to see if this is something that you would like to do. Okay, let's get into this DIY. These are the prices of new file cabinets. We're looking for the ones they're giving away or selling on Facebook Marketplace. We only used 3, but we actually got 4 file cabinets for $10. So that's our starting point. Many of the raised metal garden beds have a height of about 24 inches. Outdoor garden planters can range between 18 and 24 inches, but we're not going to spend that to get our height. The cool thing about those 5-drawer deep file cabinets, their planter height is over 26 inches. And now we should know why metal raised beds are even a thing. Why are they so popular? Metal raised beds are popular because they're easier to maintain, are more durable than wood, and they are better at controlling pests, which can lead to healthier plants. My first garden was in a community garden where we had raised garden beds made out of wood. And one of the biggest problems was pest control. There's termites, there's a lot of bugs. That can be intimidating when you're first starting out. Metal is also able to retain heat, and they can have a more modern or sleek style. Most raised beds are made out of galvanized steel, and so are file cabinets. So now let's turn them into planters. First, we have to get rid of all of the drawers, and make sure you have a place for them to go because it's a lot of them. Then we have to drill holes in the back for drainage. We found it was much easier if we laid them down. You will need a metal drill bit for this to penetrate through the back of the cabinet. Our file cabinets did not have bottoms. So the 2 cabinets that were alike, we put the bottoms together to make one long one, and then we plan to connect the third one where the other 2 meet. This would give us our T-shaped design. We used a wood board just for support, but we would add a metal sheet if this was a standalone planter. This is really when we start the transformation of cabinet to planter. We're using dish detergent to clean out any residue, dirt, and debris. Once dry, we're going to use a mouse sander, and you can use sandpaper if that's all you have, to smooth down the corners and then sand down the sides. Then we had to decide, how do we want our planter to look? We've seen a lot of DIY planters painted black, but we wanted something a little brighter for our yard. We went to our local nurseries to see what type of planter styles and textures inspired us. Hubby really liked a style with a sand texture. No matter where we looked, he was drawn to the same style of planter. It's giving ancient sand pot vibes. So these were the 2 styles we were going to try to recreate somehow. So we picked up the waterproof sealant that we were going to use on the bottom of the planters. We were going to prime anyway, but when we saw that the primer was tintable, we said, hey, we'll just use that for the planter paint. The funny thing is, picking out the sand color took us a minute. We definitely didn't want to choose a color that was made with red, because that can make the color look pink once you get it home. This gentleman was so nice, and he let us see what these colors were made of.
Which has black, and then the CO, and then the FL.
It has black, yellow, and brown.
Well,
That's what this one has.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So now that we picked out the color, it's time to seal and paint. This was our first time using a Flex Seal, and we just wanted to give a waterproof barrier to the wood and the bottom of the planters. The seal was so thick, and I was glad that it didn't have too much of an odor. This also gives an extra layer of rust protection, and some people paint their entire planters with this. If you want a dark, sleek look for your outdoor planters, this would work great. I think this seal also comes in white, but what's really interesting is that you cannot paint over it. At first I didn't believe that, but I tried a little bit, and guys, you can't paint over this stuff. It'll just peel off. You can kind of see that this would give a little textured look as well, especially if you put on a few coats. We had to let this cure before painting the sides. While at the store, we were introduced to this sand-like texture paint additive, and we were like, we need to try this. It is so simple to use. You just add it to the paint and you can stir it in and add as much as you want to get it to the consistency, and then you paint it on. The tinted primer was so easy to use and to roll on. I don't know, I guess I thought it would be clumpy or hard to work with, but it was really easy. This was our first time trying it, so we were just thinking of any ideas. We tried it with spray paint and it just did not work for us. Hubby came up with the idea to use a brush to create streaks and add even more texture. What's nice about this DIY is that you can customize your planter with any color and texture that speaks to you. I'm definitely thinking about painting another planter, and this time I would use the primer first without the paint texture and then do the second coat with the texture. For just a few dollars, we were impressed with this paint additive to give us the look and give us that texture that we were looking for. Now it's time to put the planter where you want it and get it all filled in. We decided to put down landscaping fabric so that we have a barrier between the metal planters and the ground. And we wanted to add mulch in our designated garden area. Let me tell you, filling up a raised planter is a process. Our first layer was a lot of branches we found around our house in the neighborhood. We used the remaining landscaping fabric to create a barrier so that our dirt won't go all the way down to the bottom. We had a tree cut down and the stump was grinded up, so we used the mulch from that to add our next layer. Then we got some free dirt from a neighbor, and finally on top of that, we added potting soil. Try to gather everything around you so that you don't have to pay any extra for filling your garden bed. You can use your new planter for veggies or flowers. It's whatever vibe you're going for. And this bulb planter makes it easy to plant either one. For our little garden area, we laid down mulch around the planters. So let's check everything out and see a cost breakdown. We initially spent $10 for these and created this. Let me tell you guys, I love my DIY planters. I believe that creating something so aesthetically pleasing to yourself is therapy. My husband and I both love this sand texture. As DIYers and gardeners, we already had some of the tools, so this is our cost breakdown. We were able to create 3 beautiful planters for the price of one. You can totally do this trend if you would like to make a raised metal garden. If you enjoyed this cost breakdown, please like and share and add a super thanks. We always appreciate your support. And remember, you can DIY too. See you in the next one.